Feather laid her eyes on Sophia, something magical happened. It wasn't just curiosity, it was something deeper. Feather treated Sophia as if she had waited her whole life for this connection, as if Sophia was her very own baby. Whenever Sophia crawled across the room, Feather wasn't far behind. She would beeline straight to her, wings slightly spread as though she was saying, "Wait for me, I'm coming!" Feather wasn't content with watching from afar. No, she wanted to be in Sophia's world, part of her every moment. One of their favorite things was playing the piano. Picture it, Sophia, barely old enough to stand, banging joyfully on the keys, creating chaotic, beautiful noise. Feather would perch beside her, swaying gently to the sounds as though the disjointed notes were a masterpiece. To them, it was their own little symphony of joy. And oh, how they loved to dance together. Not the kind of dance you see on stages or at parties, but the kind that is pure, unfiltered delight. Feather would bob and sway, and Sophia would clap her tiny hands, spinning with toddler grace. It wasn't just music, it was magic. Eating was another shared ritual. It wasn't just a meal, it was a celebration. Whenever Sophia took a bite, Feather would mimic her, as though they were at the same table in some grand banquet. It became their bonding time, their unspoken tradition. But to truly understand the beauty of this connection, you need to know Feather's story, her past. She wasn't always this full of love. Feather came into our lives when I was 8 months pregnant. I remember it vividly. My colleague called out of the blue one day. I just showed a house, and there's a parrot living in the basement, she said. The owner doesn't want her anymore. Would you consider taking her in? In that moment, I knew I couldn't say no. I couldn't let her stay in that basement, forgotten. Feather had been neglected for so long. Left alone without affection or care, I expected her to be timid, frightened, distrustful. And at first she was. But when Sophia was born, something incredible happened. When Feather first saw her, there was no fear in her eyes, only fascination. Feather was mesmerized. She watched Sophia intently like she had discovered something precious. The first time I introduced them up close, Feather gently leaned in as if she wanted to say, "I've been waiting for you." She cuddled into the blankets near Sophia, careful and tender. I watched in awe as Feather nestled close without a single hint of hesitation or fear. The energy between them was something indescribable. I trusted Feather completely. In my heart, I knew she would never ever lay a claw or beak on my daughter. There was only warmth, protection, and love. Feather became Sophia's quiet guardian. Whenever Sophia cried, Feather would come to her side. She'd flap over and look at her with a comforting gaze, cooing softly as if to say, "It's okay, I'm here." And if Sophia was napping, Feather wasn't far away. She wanted to be close, always. Their bond was more than companionship. It felt timeless. It was as if they had known each other in another life. Feather wasn't just a bird, she was family. There was one particular day that I'll never forget. Sophia was having one of those restless mornings. She was fussy, overtired, and I was overwhelmed. I remember sitting there holding her, trying to soothe her, when Feather flew over and perched close by. She let out a soft trill, a sound so calm, so serene. Sophia stopped crying. She looked at Feather, eyes wide, and in that moment, peace washed over her. I've never seen anything like it. It's moments like those that remind me just how extraordinary their connection is. Feather wasn't just another pet. She was a nurturer, a friend, and somehow a mother figure to Sophia. I often wondered how this bond came to be. How does a bird who was once abandoned, forgotten, and neglected find it in her heart to love so fiercely? How did she become a creature of trust and tenderness after everything she'd been through? But maybe that's the beauty of it. Maybe the reason Feather loves so deeply is because she knows what it's like to feel unloved. She knows the darkness of loneliness, and so she clings to love with everything she has. Now, when I see them together playing piano, dancing, sharing snacks, comforting each other, I feel a sense of gratitude so profound it's hard to put into words. I've come to believe that some souls are just meant to find each other. When people see Feather and Sophia, they often ask, how does a bird form such a strong bond with a child? But to me, the answer is simple. Love doesn't always need words. It doesn't always look the way we expect. Sometimes, love is a parrot chasing after a giggling toddler. Sometimes, it's soft coos in the quiet of a nap time. Sometimes, it's two souls finding each other and saying, without ever speaking a word, you're mine, and I'm yours. Feather didn't just become part of our family, she made our family whole. And every day, I'm reminded of this simple truth. Sometimes the bonds that heal us the most come from the places we least expect.